Last year when I made a video about JRPG music, I thought I'd be making a second one sooner rather than later. And while it wasn't that there weren't other great games with JRPG music last year, it's mostly that I didn't fall in love with any in the same way. But 2019 has more than made up for that, as it's a little past halfway through the year and I've already got multiple JRPG favorites that I've bought, haven't been able to stop listening to, and loved a lot. So in many of my favorite pieces from this year, these are my 7 favorite JRPG music tracks from 2019 so far. This video was originally planned to only have 6 tracks until Fire Emblem Three Houses came out and blessed my ears with its battle theme Fodlan Winds for the first time. Fodlan Winds has to be one of the best battle themes I've heard in a long time, and certainly this year, especially in terms of more orchestral-based tracks. Its soaring melody and its chorus makes every battle feel epic, with its string and horn sections coming together to make that chorus feel really impactful. And the piano and electronics after add a nice contrast that lift the track to another level. I'd be impressed if another battle theme is better than this one this year, and I'm eagerly awaiting a soundtrack announcement for Three Houses. And since that game is out now, I hope a bunch of you are all enjoying the great track now too. The Caligula Effect Overdose was a soundtrack that really set off my love for JRPG music this year, and one of its newest songs, Suicide Prototype, was the first one I put on repeat. The impact of that EDM siren opening and then the punchy vocal melody set the tone of rebellion well, appropriate for the things you're usually doing as the other team in Caligula while this track's playing. And while in those musician route chapters you can choose the music you're running around to, I chose this one 90% of the time as it's so good. I love pretty much the whole soundtrack for Caligula Overdose, but I think after months of putting different ones on repeat, I've settled on this one being the best of the musician tracks, but I think my actual favorite changes depending on my mood. If you're looking for some other great songs and honorable mentions from it, the 2 new tracks from Overdose, Oboro and Love Scope are fantastic. The opening song Cradle is also brilliant, and the track from the original trailer Distorted Happiness was one that made me curious about the game in the first place when combined with the visuals, and is a great angry song if you need one. If you haven't played Caligula, I would at the very least recommend giving the soundtrack a listen to hear some great tracks by some great Japanese Vocaloid musicians, and with Suicide Prototype and the rest, this soundtrack is likely to still be one of my favorites by the time the year is out. In a lot of ways, the track Yosuro is just cool. It plays during Nico's events in Atelier Lulua, so the sound and timing of it makes me consider it his fitting theme, with the clear pirate feel of it all, and the title of the song being the actual word for go steady that Japanese people use on ships, which I found in an interesting Google rabbit hole. The instrumentation of this track fits that pirate feeling well, along with Nico's carefree nature and love of the sea, and since I found myself in his events sometimes taking a moment from the dialogue just to give it a listen, it's probably my favorite track from the game and the one that left the biggest impression on me. As for other ones I like and some honorable mentions, the opening theme is really nice, and I also like the way they pay tribute to other Atelier Arland games at times, with Verona's special attack featuring a combination of old and new songs that I'm sure other fans of the Arland series were excited by as well. I also really like the track in the weapon shop that plays not when you walk in, but when you actually talk to and go buy something from Cole. That track is great with some of the clanking done by the metal instruments in that song that come together with a moving bass line to make a very fun, Atelier-feeling track for a Forge, and was a close second for this list. Yosuro and that track are proof that Atelier Lulua has some great tracks that capture the fun feeling of the world, and I'm already looking forward to hearing more pretty and fun tracks in Atelier Riser as well.
I'm crying now,
Dragonstar Varnir's opening track was one of the ones I found myself slightly sad to skip past when the game was starting up, as I genuinely liked it. So as soon as I finished the game, I ended up buying it off iTunes. Its softer rock vibe has a good feeling of tension with the way its vocals are sung with a wrenching feeling, and together with the rhythmic feeling of the chorus fit the struggle of the witch as well. On top of this, the track successfully switches between English and Japanese at times without feeling jarring, with the English lyrics in the chorus fitting the story as well, and then switching back into Japanese seamlessly, making it easy to connect to from both standpoints. With the singer Riko Sasaki's nice voice and everything together, it's mostly just a good track that I wish would get a full version released since I like it so much. And with its music and visuals together, this opening is a great introduction to the world of Varnir. Cry has been a favorite of mine ever since it was in the Japanese opening trailer for Crystar last year, and since Crystar's finally being released in the West this year, I can finally talk about it. Ken Cry really takes on the theme of the game, with the idea of finding strength through tears and the simple concept of beautiful girl X tears being reflected in the softer verse that turns into a powerful rock chorus that fits the dynamic visuals well and the idea of the game. It's yet another track I loved enough to look for on iTunes to hear the full version, and Ken Cry actually has one, and while I won't spoil a full version for anyone who wants to hear it for themselves, it has a lot of little bits that make different sections of the song grow bigger and more exciting throughout, especially when leading into that big chorus, and I'm sure my love of this song will be reunited again once the game's out next month. If you haven't watched the opening, I highly recommend doing so, as the music and visuals together are so perfect, and with the great composer Sakuzuo doing the full game, I'm sure there will be many more great tracks to find when the full game is out. It's not out yet, but Colors Flying High for Persona 5 Royal's first trailer is a song that didn't catch my attention until I found it stuck in my head a few days later, which made me look up the song on YouTube and immediately put it on loop. It's hard not to love that jazzy feel of Persona 5 in general, and I like how its jazz elements pair with the rockier drum beat and Lynn's lush vocal tone, with the track fitting well with its trailer in many moments, but especially in that dancing moment with Kasumi. With Persona 5 Royal said to have a bunch of new tracks coming to it, hopefully this is an indication of the type of music we can expect to see in the Royal Edition, since Colors Flying High is already one I want to add to my Persona playlist. This Rune Factory 4 special track is another track from the trailer, but it's also another I found stuck in my head and had to listen to on YouTube on loop. Rune Factory 4 Special's cute trailer duet is another that captures its game well, with that certain cuteness that fits well with the innocent sounding piano and bright tones throughout the track, and I love how fitting that this track is a duet, as the game has a lot of romance elements as well, and the vocals together definitely add that kind of sweetness. A bright track like this suits the cute looking world of Rune Factory 4 Special from what I've seen as someone new to the franchise, and is another I hope is a good indication of the rest of the soundtrack, as I like the combination of pop elements and rock ones to keep the track exciting. It still doesn't have a release date in the West yet, but it is coming sometime and just come out in Japan, so I look forward to hearing and seeing more of the sweetness in this game soon. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite music tracks of this year are so far, and what JRPGs have the best music of this year. You can like and share this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel for more JRPG content like this, and ring that bell to get notifications on whenever I post so you don't miss a thing. You can check out more videos here, and you can find me on social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all at JRPG Jungle. Links to those will be in the description below, along with a link to where you can pick up all the games I mentioned in this video. And until next time, thank you! Bye!